The economy is starting to look a bit rosier than before. Started somewhere last year, we start noticing that the occupancy rate for industrial space are starting to stabilize. And the vacancy rate has stabilized at about 11%. In 2018, we're going to see just about 4 multiple user factories. Most of the factories that's going to be completed are single user factories. Okay? And there are going to be 2 factories in Business Park and 7 warehouses. I guess the 7 warehouses is also to meet the logistics and the e-commerce needs in Singapore. So if I don't buy something now, it could be more expensive later. Other than the traditional demand, okay, we see that one of the drivers is actually the manufacturing sector. SLP was fortunate enough to be appointed by the government to actually do a study on actually the moving fish farms into factories, the feasibility of doing that. And they are actually the government is quite determined to move in that direction. So either the fish farmers gradually have to adapt, or else some of them may have to look for other ways, because the government will eventually release, or they may take back some land, they may release some for agriculture, but the amount of land they take back will be more than the amount of land that they lease. Okay. The industrial property prices could recover as early as somewhere in the 3rd or 4th quarter of this year. The office property market is actually a step ahead of the industrial property market. We have already seen that prices and rentals are starting to recover earlier. The rate of decline is slowing down. Rentals of office space is also rising, okay, and also at a slightly faster pace. And office occupancy is also starting to rise. Future supply of office space is expected to be completed. This year, we will see roughly about the same amount of completion as in 2016. But by 2019, the new supply that's expected to be completed will actually be significantly lower. So we already see that rentals are starting to pick up. They will probably continue to do so. And by 2019, okay, assuming that we don't have any shocks to the system, the rate of increase could even speed up by then. So we see that rental growth are expected to continue this year. And one of the drivers of it are tech companies as well as co-working space operators. The rosier economic outlook is going to be the main drivers and also creator of demand. And net demand for office space has increased significantly, almost more than double in 2017 compared to the preceding year. This will start to bottom up, and we could see a recovery in the occupancy rate going further down the road. For those of you who are either owning your own strata unit or renting strata title units, actually the number of transactions has been quite stable in 2016 and 17. Longer leases do offer stability and certainty. For landlords, the co-working space company or company that actually operate this actually is a source of demand. Okay, some of the recent big contracts that were signed, leasing contracts were actually taken up by such co-working companies. So the other thing is the rise of gig economy is one of the factors that feeding the demand for such space. So co-working operators, like I said just now, has taken up some of the space, and I think if this actually works, I see this year there could be a few more contracts that could be taken up by them. For major landlords, they may want to capitalize on this, okay, to at least lock in a longer lease with some of these operators. For office space, it has really turned the corner. Okay, it's only a matter of how much will it grow. My estimates is that for this year, it will probably grow between 8 to 12%. There is the SARS seems to be aligning itself. There seems to be, there's no huge oversupply out there in the market. And a lot of the new leases are being signed at rates that are even higher than what it was a year ago. So what we see is that the rentals are going to be steadily growing.